All right, hello and welcome to this video workout. Today we're getting into a total body resistance exercise routine. We're using dumbbells and we're going to be using body weight as well today. We're going to be taking it nice and slow. Our repetitions are going to be, we're going to be focusing on control, deliberate movements, really good quality of movement rather than hammering through a rate of knots with these repetitions. So we've got two sequences. We're going to split those up into 3 exercises. Each are going to be 50 seconds and we get a 10 seconds break. And then we're going to have a 30-second recovery after we've completed each one of those 3 exercises. So for the first sequence, we have our racked dumbbell squat, dive bomber, and alternate dumbbell shoulder press. And we're going through the demonstrations of those just before we get into it. Our second routine is going to be stiff-legged deadlift, high plank with alternate leg reach, or leg lift I should say, and then a dumbbell pullover with the alternate leg reach out. So again, I'm going to demonstrate those exercises just before we get into each of those sequences. We're going to repeat each sequence 3 times over. So 2 sequences, repeating those 3 times over. Again, each exercise is going to be 50 seconds of work with a 10 seconds rest, but we are taking it nice and slow. So we're not hammering that intensity in our breathing or our heart rate, but really good controlled movements, getting good quality range of movement and activation of those muscles that we're working. We're going to get into our warm-up now. We're going to start off with our hands on hips going into our hip circles. So just standing with your feet about hip width apart or maybe a little bit wider, we're going to take those hips out nice and wide. So nice big smooth circles or movements with the hips. Just breathe comfortably with this movement. With all of these movements, just breathe in time with the movement as it feels comfortable for your body. I'll give you some cues on how to breathe when we get into the more intense exercises, but for the most part, your body will naturally find a way that it's comfortable with breathing. We're going to go back the other way now. Again, just let the feet kind of find their comfortable position. They can move or they can stay pinned to the floor, hands on the hips. Again, just guiding that circular movement, loosening up the hips, the low back, and getting the body ready for the next stage of our exercises. So from here, one more. I'm going to go into our rotation. That means we're taking the arms out, a nice smooth wave-like movement around the body. Notice I'm turning my feet as well. So coming up on the ball of the toe with that rear foot, so I can get an extra bit of range of movement. Not necessarily swinging my arms, I want to be controlled with this movement as well. Breathing just comfortably as I rotate round. Okay, getting the hips again and the spine, the midsection, shoulders as well. Open up through the chest, just turn as it's comfortable. Okay, from here, I'm going to take my hands down to one side. I'm going to reach up and over in a windmill type movement, or a rainbow type movement, I should say, from one leg, my knee, maybe my lower leg, just how far down is comfortable for you. I'm getting that stretch and movement through the lateral part of my trunk of my midsection. So the rib cage and that space between the lower ribs and the pelvis, sort of the side of the lower back and even the hips. One more. All right, from here, I'm going to take my hands down and then up into like a ski jumper type position. And you can breathe out on the way up, in on the way down. It's probably the most comfortable, natural breathing pattern, but you can reverse that. And breathe in, and out. Getting the hips, nice stable position with the feet, and just taking the shoulders through that range of movement as well. All right, I'm going to widen my stance now. Feet slightly turned out. I'm going to reach one hand to the opposite lower leg. Maybe it's just below the knee, maybe it's down to the ankle. Maybe if you can reach to the floor, that's fine. Again, just go with what's right for you and how your body feels comfortable moving today. And again, the breathing, just as it's comfortable. Good. Again, go to pace that's right for you as well. Getting a stretch through the inner thigh on that trailing leg, but also getting the body moving as well. All right. So from here, I reach one hand up, almost like I'm swimming backwards, like a backstroke. Getting the shoulders and a little bit of movement through the body. Again, another little bit of rotation. Okay, about 40 seconds. Okay, so one more. Just going to do a walkout, a couple of these. Legs straight, fingertips to the floor, walking slowly out to a high plank, and then walking back. Whoa, getting that balance and walking out again, coming back and up. We're going to do one more. All right, and coming back. So our first exercise is a racked squat. We're going to take a dumbbell in each hand, feet about hip width apart, squatting down, standing up. Okay, here we go. Palms facing towards you or towards one another. Breathing out on the way up. Again, taking these nice and slow. Breathing in and breathing out. Quality of movement, more important than the speed or even the resistance. And control. I've got 2 8-kilo dumbbells just for reference here. It's going to be challenging for me, but I can manage that resistance with good control reasonably comfortably. 10 seconds left, and then 10-second break before we go into our dive bomber. It's a body weight exercise. Perfect. So dumbbells on the floor, dive bomber, hands wide, feet wide, hips up and back, and then forward and down. Good. Breathing as it's comfortable for the body. Again, with this one, you can breathe out as you push the hips up. In on the way down, or you could indeed reverse that. Breathing in on the way up with those hips. Right up on the toes. Pushing those palm heels into the floor. Just as low with the hips as is comfortable. Keep that core engaged and your navel drawn in toward the spine. 5 seconds more. And again, 10 seconds rest. Okay, and from here, our alternate dumbbell shoulder press. A dumbbell in each hand, tight grip, pressing up overhead. Here we go. Palms facing either towards yourself. You can rotate the palm, or you can have those palms facing one another. Dumbbells slightly out in front of the body. Breathing out with each push up overhead. From the side, so you can see I'm keeping my body nice and tall, controlling the descent, controlling the way down with the dumbbell. Good. Feet planted firm, not letting my hips come forward or arching the back. Less than 10 seconds to go. Getting those shoulders at the front, working. Stay long through the neck and the shoulders. And last one there, perfect. Okay. So we're at 40 seconds recovery before we go into our next round. We're repeating those same 3 exercises. So breathe. If you want a drink of water, by all means grab a sip. Little sips. And again, if you need to adjust the resistance, then by all means do that as well. Like I say, you want to be able to control the weights and have good form throughout all of these exercises. Okay, 10 seconds, and our squat from our racked position. So here we go, dumbbells in hand, quality over quantity, feet about hip width. Breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way up. And I have the dumbbells more or less resting against my shoulders, but my elbows forwards underneath the dumbbell. So I'm holding it in quite a stable position, nice stable position. Weight into my heels. Okay, driving tall, slow and deliberate. Here we go, 10 seconds more. Do the work, control the movement, just as full a range of movement as you can. 3, 2, we'll get another one in. Perfect. Dive bombers next. So once again, body weight. Here we go. Hands wide, feet wide, and pushing the hips up and then coming forward and down. Push back, so pushing the floor, the mat forward, away from you, keeping that long spine, navel drawing in to really create that tightening of the corset around the midsection. Letting those heels move over the toes as they hold the floor. 15 seconds more. And kind of a seesaw type motion, this one. Shoulders working, hips working, and really lengthen the spine here as you push the hips up high. Very good. Okay, our shoulder press next. So, stable stance, dumbbell in each hand, and here we go. Good. Just breathing out on the way up with each long reach of the arm, tight grip on the dumbbell. Good. Controlled, particularly on the way down. Really important that we control on the way down, not just let the dumbbell plummet or fall down. We don't want jerky movements. 15 seconds more. Core engaged, navel drawn inwards, and that body nice and tall. Last 5 seconds now. Good. Well done. Okay, again, 40 seconds, and we'll go back through that same routine. So I'm going to grab a sip of water. Little sips. Hot one today. If you need a sweat towel, good job to have one of those handy. So about 20 seconds, and again, going into our racked squat. So even slow, controlled, you can still get the cardio workout with these, with that cumulative effect. Here we go, racked squat. Feet planted. Let's go, last round of these 3. Controlled. Time the movements of your body in with that breathing pattern, particularly with the squats. It's good to breathe in long and slow, because then you get long and slow controlled reps, particularly on the descent, eccentrically working the muscle. And chest up. Weight into the heels, hips sitting back as we come down. 10 seconds left. Good. Driving tall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. A little bit over there. Dive bomber next. Okay. Core, shoulders, and hips. Here we go. And up, forward, up and back, forward and down. Again, those heels pivoting over the toes. And pushing to long arms reach. Control, particularly on the way down. You can drop the hips just as low as you feel comfortable with. Good mobilizer for the lower back and the hips, as long as the lower back is happy with that movement. All right, last 10 seconds coming up. And good. All right, so alternate dumbbell shoulder press. Strong core, working the upper body. Here we go. Push, push. Good. Long through the spine. Once again, long through the neck and shoulders. Don't bunch the shoulders up. And almost feel like you're stretching the lats, the muscles down the side of the body as you push and work the deltoids, the shoulders, with that long reach up and overhead. Keep the breathing in time with the movement. 10 seconds more. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent job. Very, very good. So our first sequence done, 3 rounds. Again, 40 seconds recovery. Stiff-legged deadlift. I'll take some time to explain this one. So my feet are about hip width apart. I have the dumbbells in hand. I'll demonstrate it without for the moment. Arms just at full length. Let the dumbbells relax against the body. I'm sitting my hips back, keeping my body straight, and then I'm going to come up, using the hamstrings and glutes to pull me back up into that top position. I want to avoid rounding my body at the bottom. Here we go. Follow me through this one. Feet planted, sit the hips back, keep the body straight. I'm going to really feel this in the hamstrings, the backs of the upper legs. It's not so important how low I go with the dumbbells, but rather how much I feel this through the backs of those upper legs. And get into that stretch. If there's some tightness there in those hamstrings, it might be challenging to get the range, to get down. Only go with what's comfortable for you. We've got 20 seconds more. Notice how I sit my hips back. The dumbbells traveling vertically upwards. I don't want to bring them forwards or swing them around. Last little bit of work now. We've got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, high plank with alternate leg lift. High plank is the top of a push-up, feet wide. Keep the feet wide as I lift. Here we go. So imagine the feet almost like on train tracks, wide, up on the toes, and I keep them wide. Don't bring them into the center as I lift. You'll notice the wider the feet, the more challenging it is through the core, the midsection, to hold that position. Navel in, not dropping the body down or coming up too high. Keep those shoulders over the palm heels. All right, doing well, doing well. Triceps and chest and shoulders working along with the core. 10 seconds more. Straight leg as we lift. And 2, 1. Excellent. All right, and from here, the dumbbell pullover. We're lying down with the dumbbell and alternate reach out with the leg as the dumbbell comes back overhead toward the floor. Breathing in on the way down, breathing out as we come back up. Holding the dumbbell at arm's length. You can make this more challenging by holding that low position for a count of 2, 1, 2, and then come up. And it's easier if the knees are higher to the chest, and of course harder if the knees are lower down towards the hips. But keep that lower back flat to the floor as much as you're able to. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, getting the core with that last one. So, again, about 30 seconds now to go through our stiff-legged deadlift and that high plank with alternate leg lift. And again, finally, I'll reach out. Again, go with the dumbbell that's right for you. If you need another sip of water, it's a hot one today. So both dumbbells for our stiff-legged deadlift. Feet a comfortable distance apart, about hip width. And here we go. Flat back, nice proud posture. Eyes looking down maybe to the floor. Not trying to maintain that look to the horizon because you'll arch the neck. You don't want to crank the neck back to keep your head looking at the horizon, but rather looking maybe a couple of meters in front of you. Breathing in on the way down. Breathing out as you drive the body up. It's the hamstrings and the glutes working the back and the core. stabilizing. 10 seconds. And 2, 1. Excellent. High plank. Alternate leg reach out, or lift I should say. Hands quite close together, feet wide. And here we go. Up. The closer the hands are together, the harder this one is. And a little exhale with the lift of the legs. Straight legged with each lift. Up on the toes. Again, not letting the hips drop down, but from the shoulders to the hips, a nice straight line if we can. Breathing out with that leg lift. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Good. So lying down with the dumbbell and knees up. Breathing in to start the movement as the dumbbell comes down toward the floor. Good control. In that low position, hold. Again, maybe 1, maybe 2 seconds. 1, 2, and back up. Lower back flat to the floor as much as you can. Draw that navel down toward the floor, down toward the spine, like a corset, tightening over the midsection, holding you stable and strong. 2, 1. Good. Okay. Once again, a little bit of recovery. We've got one more time through that sequence. So our 2 dumbbells. Ready once again for that stiff-legged deadlift. Again, I'm going to grab another sip of water. Little sips. Okay, 10 seconds. Doing well. Final round. Final time through this sequence. Here we go. Tight grip on the dumbbells and hips back. Breathing in. Exhale as we drive up. Strong, straight line from the shoulders, the head, through to the hips. Stiff like a surfboard. Strong. Connected. That navel drawing inwards toward the spine. Doing well. Down and up. Feet planted to the floor. Again, if you feel you can, and push that little bit deeper into that stretch. 5 seconds more, but keep that back nice and flat. 1 more. And good. High plank, body weight. Hands closer together is more challenging. Feet apart. And here we go. Lift. Lift. You can feel the weight pushing more into the hand on the side of the lifting leg. Your body wants to topple towards that side. It's the core muscles engaging, resisting that twist at the hips that keeps that structure solid and together. Again, long through the neck and shoulders. We don't want to bunch the shoulders up around the ears. Stay long. Long through the shoulders and the neck. Long through the spine. Navel pulling inwards toward the spine. 10 seconds more. Good. Last couple of reps. 2, 1. Okay, and lying down one more time. With our dumbbell in hand and alternating that leg reach. Good. Control on the way down. Holding that low position. 1, 2, and back up. Once again, the knees, that start-stop position. If it's lower toward the hips, much harder. But if you need to, knees up toward the chest to make it that little bit easier. 10 seconds more. Hold in that low position. Draw the navel down. And really test those muscles in the midsection and low back. All right. Very, very good. Whew. All right, we'll come up. And that is our workout. Once again, nice and steady, nice and controlled. We'll begin our cool down now, and we'll begin the same way we started with those hip circles. Hopefully now feeling a bit looser and a bit freer. So it's a great, simple, relatively simple sequence of exercises, getting the whole body, getting you moving, getting your body producing some work, some heat. Back the other way now with the hips, increasing that metabolism. And that cumulative effect, you can feel again the aerobic system, the cardio, getting some work as well. But mainly with that slow, controlled, deliberate movements we had, time under tension through the muscles. We're going to go into our rotations next. Again, we can assess this against how we felt when we did these on our warm-up. With any luck, should be feeling a bit looser. Maybe the movement's a bit freer, a bit easier, a bit more comfortable. It's a nice breeze on the arms as we move through this one. Perfect. Feet square. We're going to reach up and over, getting that side bend to stretch down through the side of the body. The lats, the big muscle of the upper body, down the side, intercostals between the ribs. And the QL, that space between the lower ribs and the pelvis, the low back, getting a nice stretch with this one. One more on each side. Down and supporting with one hand against the leg, just as far over as you feel comfortable with. I'm going to go wide stance, and as I lean to one side but then reach towards the straight leg foot, I'm going to increase the stretch in my inner thigh and breathe as I relax into that stretch. Nice and slowly up and over. Same thing, hips go to one side, reaching towards the straight leg, and just spend a moment or two. 6 or 7 out of 10, that's the level of stretch we're wanting to find, not pushing into discomfort. And just getting attuned to how comfortable the body is with a certain stretch, or even a certain rate of work on the exercises for that matter. Okay. All right, we'll bring the feet together. About a minute left. We'll bring the feet together and we'll come down with straight legs. This time we're letting the back round. Okay, so we're stretching through hamstrings, a little bit into the calves, and also the lower back and the extensors that run the length of the spine. Not aggressively, but you can just use a few little pulsing movements at the end of the range. And we're going to slowly uncurl as we come up. And we're going to go down a second time into these, nice and slow. Feet just as far apart or as close together as is comfortable. Maybe you can only reach down towards the ankles or the tops of the feet, that's fine. And we'll slowly come up. And we're just going to roll the shoulders, low to high, front to back.
Activity completed.
All right. So nice bit of movement through the spine here and the shoulder blades sideways on, so you can just see this movement, my spine as well as the shoulders working as I pinch those shoulders together and then roll them forward. All right, fantastic work. Well done indeed. So a great exercise there, series of exercises there, great routine, getting the whole body. Again, our focus, slow, deliberate, controlled movements. We can absolutely perform those exercises with more intensity, more speed, even changing the resistance as we need to. But today, all about control, and I hope you've had a fantastic workout today. I will see you for another one very, very soon. In the meantime, take care of yourself.